Good afternoon. And
Good afternoon, sir.
okay, so just before going through your problems and all, and I'll give you the solutions, Rahul. Okay, let me know little bit brief me about yourself. Okay, what all skill set you have? You are a fresher. You are already working right in IT, non-IT,
Mm-hmm.
everything. Because I need to diagnose you like a doctor used to do. Okay, I'm right. So I need to understand
Sure.
means, right? Then only I can give you the best path.
Okay, sir. So let me introduce myself first. So my name is Rahul Parihar, and I'm born and brought up in Delhi.
Mm-hmm,
I've done a BCA in graduation from IP University, from Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies, that is in Pitampura. And after that, I pursued MBA in IT from Wellinger Institute of Management, that is in Mumbai. So uh, it is from distance learning.
mm-hmm,
And after that, I started my career with a company that is in Noida. I worked there for about 12 months,
mm-hmm,
14 months as a system engineer, junior system engineer.
mm-hmm,
Then I switched to a company in Gurgaon,
mm-hmm,
and right now I'm working for a client. We offer technical support to a client.
mm-hmm.
I At the moment I can't reveal the client's name, but
That is absolutely
uh,
fine, not an issue. Yeah.
yeah. So we provide support, technical support to the client
Mm,
on Windows operating system or application wise.
mm.
So
Okay,
right now I'm doing that.
okay, okay. So few things I'll ask you. So your total years of experience is somewhere around 14 or 15 in this current organization. How long you have been working, Rahul?
Sir, total experience is about 14 months was from the previous organization,
Mm.
and I just recently joined this organization, and it's been about 3 months. So it would be total
17, somewhere
17 months.
yeah.
Yes,
So it's where almost like 1 year something, 1+ years of experience we can consider. Okay.
yes,
Okay. So you said you did your graduation from Pitampura.
yes, sir.
Pitampura, which one? Indore, you are telling?
Pitampura, sir, that is in North Delhi.
Okay, okay. I am not okay. So there is
North
also
Delhi. It
I
is
thought
affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh
okay,
University, that is
okay,
in
uh,
Dwarka.
okay, okay. Good. Okay. So now so this almost 1+ years of experience, Rahul. In this one, you are mainly into, I would say, like technical support, right?
Correct,
Uh,
sir.
where you will be dealing most of. I know that what sort of. So, are you working on some kind of a ticketing tool?
So yes, kind of it is a ticketing tool, but
Mm,
what I would say is we get cases on that tool, and then we work on those cases.
mm.
And we have a separate Azure DevOps portal to update the status of those tickets.
Okay, so this ticketing tool is specific to that right organization, or it's service now only?
No, it's specific to the organization.
Okay,
It's
okay.
related to the client.
Okay.
The
So case
client
by
has
case,
provided.
you are taking the tickets and you are working on that one, whether it's a Windows related issues or a Linux related issues, right?
Only the Windows, sir. Only the
Linux,
Windows.
okay, only Windows. Okay, okay.
So Linux, I've worked on Linux systems in my previous organization, but it is mostly Windows and Office related issues in my current role.
Okay. So your education, you have been passed out in 2000,
2018, I've done my graduation. After that, I pursued my MBA from 2021 to 2023.
2021 to 2023, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So there is no education gap, but yeah, there is somewhere around like, right? This one we can see, right? You have passed out in 2018 to 2021, correct?
Yes, sir.
So in between, what you have been doing that during that period of a time?
Sir, I was working with my father. I was helping him with the shop,
Mm,
and in between, I was doing CCNA also.
mm,
I was doing CCNA and CCNP.
mm,
I certified CCNA also. I gave the examination and I got certified.
mm,
Uh, After that, I was looking for jobs, but I wasn't able to find any opportunity in between. I tried for months. Then I got the job in 2021 September.
mm. See why I ask you no, right? Because this is going to be 100% same way. Like I am asking there any of the interview when you are going for a purely Linux administrator job or a cloud role or a DevOps role, Rahul, they are going to ask you this question where you have been those 3 years. Okay. So
Mhm.
rather than that, you just mentioned that I was searching job during that period of a time. Okay. And during that, no need to mention that these things and all. Okay. If possible, that is, see, if you are telling that truth is truth, even for me also, I had almost like when starting my career, almost 2 years of a gap was there. Okay. So I used to say very
Mhm.
clearly that I was searching for a job during that period of a time. I did so many trainings and all, right, but I did not find a job, and then my father health was not good. Okay, so I went to my hometown to take care of himself. So same way you just mentioned the same thing whatever you have mentioned. So there are two things, because when you mention these things, if you are going for any service based company, whether it's a TCS, Infosys and all, okay, so they will ask you to fill up, is there any gap is there between your career. Okay, so and from the education, so you can see there is a
Mhm.
3 years of gap there is there, right? So that you can mention that, job searching, first point. Second thing is mention that since my I'm just helping my father in a way like that, financial condition is not good or like that. Okay, so these things you need to mention. Okay,
Sure, sir.
very genuine reason, nothing wrong with this one. Okay, we know where, see now what is missing in IT industry. Okay, we don't say honestly the things. I'm not sure about other places, but I want to hear from the candidate that whether he's telling the, see the reason why I told you the last candidate which I hired for my current organization, that guy was superb. Okay, and he has almost like from past 8 months he did not got a job, and he was not doing any job. Okay, so he clearly told Abhishek, my father health was not good, so he was doing job but he quit the job and then he went to his hometown, he's taking care of his father, and again he came back. So this is a part of life, in and out. Okay, so things should be very clear, uh, and if we make sure that the person who is sitting in front of you, he is also a human. Okay, by end of the day
Mhm.
he has to listen to you if he is a genuine person, and if he is become so much of professional, so it's not good for him. Okay. Okay, one second.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so
Definitely.
we hire resource like this only by listening to them. Okay, and yeah, so this is fine, absolutely. CCNA, CCNP also you have given. Okay, and now coming back to the question that I'll ask you those things later on, like how much knowledge you have in Linux and how much you have knowledge in cloud and all. But what is your
Mhm.
question problem first of all?
Sir, while I was working previously in my previous organization,
Mm,
I got to discover many fields. I tried learning about data engineering,
mm-hmm,
then other fields as well. But
mm,
I was working in IT support,
mm,
so it was a mix of all the things.
mm,
I was working with Linux systems, Windows servers,
mm-hmm,
uh, basic troubleshooting on systems, normal laptops, desktops, everything was
mm,
included.
mm,
Also, that was the time when I discovered about DevOps, and I developed a keen interest in DevOps,
Okay.
and it was like working on tools. I find it quite fascinating,
Mm,
and since I was working on Linux
mm,
system, it was not in depth, but I was working on basic things
mm.
like
Got it.
installing, uninstalling operating system, setting up systems
Mm,
the for the developers.
mm.
Uh,
Se-
so,
Setting up the system for the developers means what exactly you are doing? Are you doing any Git installation and all kind of stuff for their laptops, for their VDIs and all?
sir, like there was a situation like when they were joining the company,
Mm,
they needed laptop with the required
okay.
system configuration and the required software specification. So
Okay.
what I used to do was I installed those softwares and like installing databases, installing Node.js, installing their required environment.
Mm. Okay, so you know what is this? This is actually mainly we call it as a in our organization. Suppose if you are going to work as a DevOps engineer, so there are
Mhm.
some accesses a DevOps engineer has to raise. Okay, suppose if you are working for a client, okay, I'm just telling in our perspective, okay, and then I'll come to your
Mhm.
perspective. Okay, so in that situation, we have been asked to raise some accesses. Okay, like whether you have IntelliJ is installed or not, right? VS Code
Yes.
is installed or not in your system, right? So, like they will ask you to whether some other tools are there. Are list of tools will be there, and there are some accesses also which we need to raise. Okay, and this will go to the help desk. Ultimately, if we face any issue related to VDI, virtual desktop, okay, as a DevOps engineer, okay, or a cloud engineer, then we'll reach out to the help desk. I got your point. So you have at least understanding of the basic tools which needs to be installed to work as a DevOps engineer. Okay, Rahul. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and in this one, have you installed any kind of tools which is related to your like Kubernetes?
No, sir. But I've seen people using Minikube. They they used to
Hmm,
come to IT to install Minikube.
correct.
Uh, but it I was just responsible for the basic installation since it was a complex one. So my senior used to take care of that.
Fine, fine. So you have a understanding of this one. Okay. Now your
Mhm.
question, Rahul.
Sir, my question is like I want to transition into a cloud and DevOps engineering role.
Hmm,
At the moment, I'm learning Azure.
hmm.
So I've tried AWS, but since now most of the people are learning AWS, I want to try Azure. And
No, this should not be the case. You should see there are two things. I will be tell you very frankly, Rahul. Okay. So Azure
Mhm.
and AWS and GCP, I have worked with all these three clouds, and even I have worked with public cloud also and private cloud also. Okay. So there is no difference between the cloud. The thing is that what is the market demands. Okay. So it depends
Mhm.
upon the client. When a client is preferring to migrate their monolithic application to the Azure cloud, then if you had a experience with AWS cloud, then you have to learn somehow Azure cloud. Moreover, I said very clearly you can go through my all previous videos, and there you can see I am suggesting the same thing. It doesn't matter whether you are working for Azure, whether you are working for AWS, or whether you are working for GCP cloud. Only the naming convention is different, Rahul. Okay, the infrastructure is everywhere same, instance will be same. Okay, and you will say like your VPC, virtual private cloud, and all those things, everything, only the naming convention will be different. So take this thing from your mind that people are doing Azure and someone means there are much more audience in the AWS and there are less audience in the Azure. No, it's not like that. The answer for this one is that with the AWS the market share is more. Okay, so if you
Okay.
go and search now also, I'm just telling on the behalf of data, not something random data. Okay, So market share is
Mhm.
still more with the AWS. Okay, and AWS provide much more services compared to any other cloud. Very honestly, I'm telling you, you can go and search now. Okay, so and because see, they are the biggest player as a cloud service provider. Like internet service providers will be there. Same way, cloud service provider is there. So they are the biggest player. So you can think they are easily not going to give it away things. Correct. So
Correct.
this Azure is coming into the picture. Their growth is faster, okay, but their market share is not like AWS and like GCP. Their every see we measure any organization quarterly basis, correct? So when you go and see the data of quarterly basis of AWS and this Azure cloud and this GCP cloud, you will find out no, okay, Azure cloud, the growth is more compared to AWS, but now AWS is doing so many things. The reason behind that, I ask my all of my candidates to go with AWS. Even my certifications are in Azure only. You will not believe, my even I have not done a single certification in AWS, but my hands-on is more. You can say means real time experience is more with the AWS and Azure. I get not that much time to work on, but I did so many certification with Azure. So most of the time I work with all
Mhm.
these three clouds, but the extensive you will say with the AWS. And you go with AWS, there is also one reason that the accessibility. Okay, so when you work in an organization, okay, for the Azure point of view, you need to create an account, right? And once you create an account, then you will get some 13,000 credit or something like that, right? To
Yes, sir.
work on. That will be finished immediately. So it's all about our practice labs and all. So more and more practice you will do with the infrastructure, you will play around the infrastructure. So then only, because now organizations are not providing any kind of a lab setup or something like that, because that is also a overhead cost. For everywhere they are doing cost optimization. So why can't we do the same thing from our end? Just set up your own infrastructure, your own lab with the AWS, because moreover all the clouds are same, Rahul. Okay, so it's totally up to you. But again, okay, if you are able to manage with Azure, go ahead with Azure, okay, and do some certification if it's required with the Azure. Like have you heard about AZ 900
Yes, sir.
foundational? Or there is, if you are going for DevOps, then AZ 104 and AZ 400 is also important. Okay, AZ 104 is
Mhm.
for the administrator, AZ1 and 400 is for the DevOps. Okay, why I am telling you? Because if you are choosing for Azure, so please make sure that you should know Azure DevOps. The more work is coming in the Azure DevOps. Why Azure DevOps? Because the no, I won't say it's a traditional pipeline. The pipelines which are there in the Jenkins, okay, they are migrating those pipelines to the Azure DevOps pipeline. Okay, so you should
Okay.
know first what how Jenkins work. If you know one system very well, then you will be able to adapt the other system. Then only you will be. Migration means what? Okay, suppose now whatever we are doing in earlier in the on premises, we are migrating to cloud. So there also instance, here also instance. So if I know this is also a virtual machine, there also a virtual machine. But if I don't know the current means the what I had worked on, the current system, if you don't know, you cannot be able to migrate the same system into a different system, right? Very clear,
Yes, sir. Correct.
right? So this is why I told if you are going, so you should know Jenkins well, okay? And since you are telling that you wanted to pursue a career in DevOps, so few things I am going to ask you, and then I'll show you my resume. Being 1+ years of experience, how could be a resume look like? Okay, if you're,
Sure,
because
sir.
I started my career as application support engineer, then I have moved to Linux administrator, then VMware administrator, then cloud administrator. So somehow, with God's grace, okay, I got to know everything. I have touched all the technologies, and I have worked on also on all the technologies. Okay, but for you again, Linux wise, what all things you know? Only basic commands.
Sir, only the basic commands like installation, uninstallation, setting the environment,
Hmm.
and yes,
How about automation, shell scripting? You know.
So shell scripting, I've started to learn, but I'm not well aware of it. I've started to learn it.
Okay, you need
Uh,
to. Okay, you need
yes,
to
sir.
choose because the first criteria is if you are going for a DevOps engineer, you are directly or indirectly will be involved with Linux. Okay, you cannot leave Linux. Linux is like
Agreed,
I
sir.
said. Okay, you cannot live without heart. Okay, so for me,
Hmm.
Linux is the heart. Okay, you cannot live without operating system, right? True. 99%
Yes,
of the servers are running in the Linux, right?
Linux
So
environment.
correct. So you cannot leave Linux or and you'll say, no, okay, I'll leave the Linux and then I can directly jump into the DevOps. That is what most of the freshers are doing this mistake. So we should not do this mistake. Very honestly, I'm telling. Now, the other stuff is like you should know some basic things like NFS, network file storage, or a NAS, right? Or a DNS, how to configure your DNS, because when you are going to deal with the DevOps tool, it's not only the DevOps tool. When you are going to deal with the cloud engineer, the most important
Hmm.
part is not only creating a instance, Rahul. Okay, the important
Yes.
part is how you are going to expose your application to outside the world. Okay, you have a database, you have a web application, and you have a Tomcat server. Okay, where you have hosted all these things. Okay, the thing is that when we do all these things, connectivity is important for us. Pri- just now we said the security is the most important part comes here, right? So how you are going to make sure your security groups are configured properly, your VPC is configured properly, right? Everything is, and how you are communicating. If you are, even if you are accessing a normal application from your mobile, that is the public interface, right? That is the public IP which you are accessing, that has mapped with the private IP. The public IP has to map with the private IP. Then only you will be able to access this side of your application. And there also you need to make sure your application is secure. Correct? So
Yes, sir.
this is there. So if you have not learned much more about Linux, so my suggestion is for you, because since you have, and how much time you can give you, because see, to get into DevOps also, it's not like that. That immediately I'll ask you to first, whenever suppose if you have started running today, so you will run 100 meters, correct? Then you again
Hmm.
you will try to run 200-meter, 300-meter, 400-meter. Like this, the practice will makes you, and then your stamina will increase, right? So in learning is also like that only. It's a curve, Rahul. Okay, so if we think that okay, no, I'll today only I'll run almost 10 kilometer. So what will happen? You only tell me what will happen. You can run 100%. You can run, but what will happen? You only tell me.
Sir, at the end, we will be exhausted and it should be
Exactly.
a linear learning.
Correct. We will be exhausted. So that is what all the youth are doing now. They learn DevOps because all these institute, all these instructor, they take money. So there also you got exhausted. They have taken your money.
Yes,
Correct. And when you get into the organization, when they are asking you to work on those tools, so what you'll say, no, I can't do this one only. So your day and night will be exhausted, first of all. You will
yes.
be working like hell. So see, if we don't know something and if we are trying to learn, so either we need to put our day and night on that one. So most good thing is that if you do it like that, so it will be chances that there will be some breakdown will happen. We don't know what that breakdown might be. You will get exhausted and you will shout on your someone, so your mental status will also go off. Okay, that is the truth, and that is what happening, Rahul. Okay, now,
Okay.
okay, with all the freshers, they see that it's very fancy, but suddenly when
Hmm.
see this much of pressure is coming, they are not able to handle. So either they want to leave the organization or they want to leave the job only. They don't want to work in IT industry later on, and they will say, I will become an entrepreneur. Okay, fine, but we need to understand and take things slowly. That is what my understanding with this IT organization.
Sir, I wanted to ask one question
Hmm,
also.
hmm.
Like, uh, should I switch to, switch to Linux admin first, then transition to DevOps, or we can directly get into cloud and DevOps role?
No, my suggestion for you, because since you can give time at least 1 year.
Okay.
No, I'm asking you, Rahul, will you able to give 1 year time in the current organization wherever you are working as of now?
Yes, sir, I can do that, but I'm thinking to switch much sooner than that if I get ready.
Yes, that is fine. But what I have see, why I have given you this, I have given the maximum time. Okay, 1 year. I have given. So after by the time you will be two, means you will completing 1 year in this organization, your total experience will be 2 years. Yes or
Two
no?
years.
Correct.
Yes.
So now you have a good amount of experience, and now this experience, what you can do is you can mention mix kind of stuff. What is this mix kind of stuff? So you can mention you have worked as a Linux plus cloud engineer.
Okay.
Okay, because at this experience, Rahul, nobody is DevOps engineer. Have you go, okay, you go and check with all your relatives, all your family friends, your bhaiya and whoever is your elder brother is there. Ask very clearly that is anyone who is directly working as a DevOps engineer as a fresher?
No, sir.
Why no?
Uh, for a DevOps engineer, at least 3 to 5 years of experience is
Exactly.
required, and uh, mostly people from Linux admin or software developers who are already working, they can switch to DevOps. So DevOps is just a psychology. It's not a role. It's the way of working things.
Way of working. That is what I am keep on telling. The second part which you told, that it is absolutely wrong, because when you said that Linux administrator and a developer will switch, okay, they can, no,
Mhm.
anybody can become a DevOps engineer. The thing is that whether a QA, whether a non-IT background guy, whether you are from production support or application support or SRE engineer. Okay, you are from the network administrator, you are a storage administrator, anyone, even a developer, anyone can become a DevOps engineer. It's a culture, again, it's a culture, it's a way of working, okay, where we need to adapt some tools, and we are going to closely going to work as a develop means with the developers, okay, to help them. Ultimately, now also the Java developer have been also asked to work as a DevOps engineer. They should know as a DevOps. But being, suppose why I I told all my members to choose this path. The reason behind that one, when your foundation become very strong, when you are strong in Linux, when you are strong in the cloud, because anyways these two things you cannot remove. Okay, you can change the
Mhm.
engine of a, you can change the engine of a vehicle, okay, but you cannot change the chassis, correct? Body is all
Correct.
about, right? Body you cannot, okay. So that is what, again, so you have to choose from where it looks things will be much simpler way, it's not complicated, and you can follow a career path which is gradually increasing, okay.
Mhm.
Correct. So it should not be go sudden up and sudden down. No, it should not be the case. So if within these 2 years, you just focus on Linux plus cloud, because you said Azure, so you will not believe there are hell lot of jobs in the. If you are really passionate about Azure, Rahul, again I am telling you, they are hiring so much of freshers as a Azure, means if you are going for in Azure there are so many roles, okay, because
Mhm.
in Microsoft they have multiple to means services also in Azure cloud, they have so many services, and they have so many tools also, so you can choose accordingly, okay. And
Yes, sir.
once you pursue in that one, in that field, you'll see a very good exposure, not only with the Microsoft tools, okay, but with the other tools also. But again, if you want to stick with the open source community, if you want to stick, because you said two things, first thing is, now it's very clear to you, you have to choose, you have to go with the Linux administration and with the cloud. The second part is DevOps tools. So when we talk about the current DevOps tools, so most of the tools are open source, Rahul. And this is
Mhm.
why I tell all of my members that please go ahead and go with AWS, because the compatibility with the AWS will feel, because that is also most of the services you can easily integrate with those tools, right? Correct. So that is there. So if
Right, sir.
possible, try to learn this AWS also. Okay. And if you are going with the Azure, then definitely go with the Azure. And
Sure,
DevOps
sir.
point of view, I'll show you a little bit so you'll understand. One second. Once my screen is visible to you, let me know. Okay.
Sure, sir. So to easily switch into the in this AWS and cloud role, uh, AWS would be the preferred one,
Huh, so see,
right?
AWS will be the 100% preferred one, because there you can do most
Okay.
of your practices, okay, your labs and all,
Okay.
okay. And if you are going for the Azure, then you need to make sure that to do a ample amount of hands-on experience, you should have good credits.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir, I
so
researched about it. It was giving us about 30 days to practice, but
correct.
in AWS, the good thing is we get 1 year of time to perform the practicals.
That is 1 year is one thing, okay, and now I'll show you. Apart from that, there is lot more. Okay, so are you able to see my screen, Rahul?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
1 second. Okay. So, see here. So, this is why it's important. Now, this account is almost more than 1 year. Okay. And how much I
Mhm.
got built apart from this? If you go to this billing and console management in this one, okay, you'll be able to find out. Okay. So, the cost is also like, suppose you have created any instance or anything, right? So, you need to make sure that you see the month to date cost is almost $0.04, right? It's almost down, like 92%. And
Yes.
right, and if you want to see the payments and billing and all, okay, so if you'll go to this one, okay, so it's telling one payment is scheduled, how much they have charged me, almost around 162 rupees. So these things is manageable, Rahul, right? And we can do a see, for the April it's telling me you need to pay, this is the due amount, right? So whatever the amount till now I have paid, it's not going more than 300 rupees on a monthly basis, even after 1 year of subscription where I got everything in a free. Okay, but this is also why I am getting these things, because what mistakes we do, Rahul, is like, suppose you go to this EC2, right? This service is there of your Amazon Web Services, and if you see, if you click on this running one, is there any running instance is there? No, there is no running instance. But if you click on this one, which I have deleted now, so normally what we do is whatever the instance will spin up, okay, after that what we do is we'll leave that instance, okay, we stop the instance, but there is a volume attached to it, yes or no? Correct. So who is going to
Yes.
pay for that volume? Because you have engaged the volume, though your vehicle is stopped, correct?
No.
But if the product is loaded in that one, so client will shout. So you have engaged, right, something with the, if vehicle is empty, it's fine, so you are not doing any transportation, but what you did is you are taking your transportation from Bangalore to Delhi, okay, and in between you stopped somewhere. You are telling, no, my petrol is not burning, my diesel is not burning, but the load is there, right? That load is your volume, okay. So the volume is attached to it. It has to deliver to the client, okay. Either you release that one, okay, then only you will be fully free, okay, because that volume ultimately it's a reusability. So, yeah, so you see, right? So, as I said, so we need to make sure this thing, Rahul, right? Whenever you are
Mhm.
not only with this cloud, the resources which we are using for our instances, we should release those resources. Even if you are using, you did CCNA and CCNP, right? So you also know the importance of IP. The IP can be used for other instance. We that is what called the concept of reusability. Okay, so this why this cloud service provider is able to become so much of popular now. The reason, because it's a reusability concept is there. So like Ola is also become now, you no need to buy a car and all, right? You just rent that car and you can use according to your need. Pay and use. The concept is called pay and use. Okay, and this
Yes.
is the main model we are doing as of now. There are different deployment models are there, like your SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, right? So whichever is the fit for your organization, we normally follow that one. Okay, but this is why you need to go with AWS. Is just the main is its billing part. That's what I told. You will not going to get more than some 300 rupees, even if your almost 1 year subscription is gone. Okay, so you can manage, but I'm not sure about the Azure. It's very costly. Okay, GCP is also quite good. I have used GCP. The recent project we were migrating almost 14 applications are there to the GCP GKE cluster. Okay, GCP we are
Mm-hmm.
migrating it. Okay, and there also the things are almost similar. VPC is there, egress there, ingress is there, right? So you need to design your own. You need to create your own landing zones and all. So you are aware of these things like basic
Mm-hmm.
terminology related to the cloud. So this is why I told it's look very fancy from outside, but very honestly, I am telling you, you need to go through all these components while working in the production environment. You should be, because you don't know now the concept is gone, Rahul. Okay. First of all, one more thing. Through you, I want to communicate to all of whoever wanted to pursue a career in the DevOps. See, when we design a team, I won't say design a team. When we form the team, normally there is a mix. People will be there, so we need like two front end developer will be there, which is mostly working on the React or Angular. Okay, there will be a back end developers will be there, hardly two, so four will be there, and plus there will be a Scrum Master will be there. There will be one DevOps engineer will be there. Okay, so like this, so you understand why I told this to you. Eight set of people will be there, and there will be chances that when you will be working with all the DevOps engineer all together. Okay, but most probably when you are working in this kind of a culture where only you are the only one DevOps engineer, so you should be responsible for everything. Everybody will reach out to the DevOps engineer. Okay, and even the developers also will reach out to the QA, will also reach out to you. Everyone, Scrum Master will, because they know if anything will break, it's related to patching activity, it's related to vulnerability activity, it's related to migration to automate the pipeline. Everybody wants to just how I can say. So they want to take like this. Okay. So all DevOps engineer. Okay. So I know, because I have not only worked as a DevOps engineer, I have lead the team also. So the pressure I understand. So I don't want my youth to be immediately get exhausted. They should learn first of all these things. And since you already done a networking certification, so in cloud perspective also it's going to help you, Rahul. Okay, to design, and you'll not believe, once you'll, if you enjoy in cloud, these things will be done. Means you will be take a full flight. Okay, so you're going to space. Okay, so that is for sure, because
Okay, sir.
cloud is something people still not understand its the potential. Okay, we are just thinking whether to go with AWS, whether to go with GCP, whether to go with Azure. No, it's all about cloud only going forward. Okay, so we need to focus on cloud. AI tool is there, that is also we have to
Mm-hmm.
install in cloud, right? In instance only where you are going to install, correct? So if somebody
Correct, sir.
is able to manage the infrastructure, he can do anything, correct? So it's more of maintenance, maintaining and managing the infrastructure, Rahul. Now this I'll quickly show you. After this, we'll wrap up the call. One second.
Sure, sir.
Hmm. See, so this was my first company, Rahul. Okay, and these are the roles which I was working as a, you would say, more of a application support guy, and then later on into the Linux administrator. You can see the kind of work I used to do. It's more of a, right, what related to the Linux servers only, providing support for Linux CentOS server. These are the very old CentOS.
Mm-hmm.
Like this also I have worked with. Okay, and shell scripting from day one, it is with me. Okay, so I am expertise with shell scripting, and if you know shell scripting, then this Python and all will be easy for you. Okay, and you see, providing remote as well as support for the Linux and Windows server, coordinating with the client L1 and 2, resolving tickets as per the SLA, right? Installing, configuring, monitoring, handling the remote servers, configuring, right? Working knowledge subscription. This is specific related to the telecom domain, where I was supporting the application. This was the application. UMP was the application. Okay, and you can see I have written a small like configuring LVM and managing production activities for our Apache. So it's a mixed kind of a
Apache.
thing. Yeah. So this is why I call it as a it's a application support where the operating system is also involved and the application is also involved. Okay, so at last also you can see I have mentioned that performing system monitoring including completion of jobs, scheduling job through the cron job, right? Memory utilization and process utilization management means which is related to your disk will be full, your memory will be full, right? Your CPU will be at high, so those things, uptime and all, right, which is related to your performance tuning, those things also I used to take care. And at the end you can see we were working through to connect to those servers through the SSH, only SSH client. Okay, so you should have knowledge of SSH FTP servers and all. So this was the mix, and immediately after this you can see all are into the Linux. Okay, so in this one you can
Yes, sir.
see troubleshooting, monitoring, incident service, right? Or everything is Linux. There is no application support in this one, right? NFS, Samba, AutoFS, CIFS, networking with knowledge, right? Of DNS, we I used to configure the forward lookup zone, the reverse lookup zone, those things. Managing FTP account, create, delete, modify, right? Configuring LVM when they were asking like if any of the disk will be full, so the storage team, we need to raise a request to the storage team, and they will attach a LUN to our virtual machine. And then finally, we need to scan those LUNs, and then we need to make sure your LVM will get extended, right? So you can go through my series. I think you are already going through, and with this current also IT 100 plus, sorry, IT. This one is there. I have started 100 days of IT
Yes, sir.
corporate
100
boot camp.
days. So,
Yes, 100 days of IT
yes.
corporate boot camp. So in that one, I am going to cover everything, but I'm not sure who will be part of this live classes. Okay, so whoever wants to onboard now, they can onboard now. Even you also. Okay, totally up to you. You can see it's related to decommissioning. If you are going only for the operating system related to Linux administration, working with building physical servers, ILO settings, BIOS, and all, right? Hands on with hardening also, the security point of view also we need to take care of this one, user management, group management, RPM and EM, right? So these are more purely into the Linux. And when you just go up, okay, here you can see that it's more of a started working with the GitHub and all, right? You can see clearly the after this the organization which I worked that, and high availability, and then the Jenkins also, somewhere the DevOps work was there, and then the cloud is already involved. Cloud was from here only. Even though I have worked with a private cloud of HP, that is HP Helion OpenStack. Okay, that is specific to them only. And then finally, in the next organization, I started with this one, and then after that, purely I was into this one. You can see here, correct? One second.
Right, sir.
Make
So,
this one.
sir,
See here,
we
correct?
should be strong on Linux part, and then we can gradually, go towards the cloud and then the DevOps tool,
See,
right?
see, it's like I would say like normally Linux, one technology is the predecessor to the other one, according to me. Okay, and but here what I can see is now it's cloud came into the picture. Earlier, VMware was there. Okay, so we used to deal with VMware, correct? So for the virtual machine, to if you want to spin up, so we are spinning with VMware, correct? But now with the Linux, ultimately with the cloud. So cloud and Linux, you can parallelly take it up. Okay, so both the things you can take it up, but immediately if you say I want to take the Linux plus cloud and DevOps, then you will get exhausted. Okay, ultimately, very practically, but it's totally upon. Again, I am telling you, nothing is impossible. But I suggest which is really practical. Okay, feasible for us. So we should not be in immediately. I'll throw you in the ocean and I'll say okay, deep down. Okay, so it's not going to work out. Okay, so yes, if you you would have
Correct,
like
sir.
6 years, 7, 8 years of experience, Rahul. So I would say no, Rahul. You have enough amount of experience in Linux, or you have worked as a cloud engineer. So easily you can go for the DevOps tools and all. It will be handy for you. But now, if I would say, then I don't want to simply push you. Okay. So just go with the flow. That is the nature. Go with the nature, and then only we can grow. Okay.
Mhm. So,
So
sir, to switch easily, I should be learning AWS, right?
yes,
Just to
straight.
get entry in the cloud and DevOps space, I
Correct.
should be learning AWS.
Correct. So that is
Okay.
very important. So, and if you want to get a certification, then go ahead with Azure certification. You wanted to be that one. So you'll certification again. It will be segregate you from the majority of the crowd. Okay,
Okay.
to get filtered easily, because those HRs are not take HRs are there from management background. Okay, so they don't know much more about the technical stuff. Okay, so they will go with the keywords. Okay, they will find the keywords. Okay, Rahul knows, he knows Kubernetes. Okay, Rahul, whether you have experience in Kubernetes, so like that only they'll ask. Okay, this is the truth. Okay, so Rahul, hope I'm able to resolve most of your queries. Okay, if you have any queries, any doubt, I'm reachable 24 into 7 in the Teams. Right, and if you want to do the classes also, let me know. I'm going to start a new batch soon for this 100 days of IT corporate boot camp, because I have now decided something. I have taken a pledge. Now I'm not going to leave any of my youth. Okay, at least they should not misguide,
Yes.
and they should not ended up somewhere by losing their money. Okay, and me, according
Sir,
to me, yeah, please.
mhm. Sorry to interrupt you in between, but sir, I've seen like there are many multiple resources. So people are learning from Linux from somewhere else, then cloud from somewhere else. So in this 100 days of the course, we will be getting the integrated thing. So we can learn all things at one place and in a
Correct.
linear fashion.
In a linear fashion. This is why I have made it as a 100 days of IT corporate boot camp. Okay, and normally what they see, I have created a kind of a, you can say, junction. Okay, so you did.
Right.
Okay, I this is why somebody is asking, Abhishek, why you are explaining this much in Linux. I said, suppose you need a job immediately. So what is, how I have to design a course? The course should be like that. So if somebody need immediately, he wants to only go for the, he is passionate about Linux, he wanted to passionate about shell scripting. So when the course will be ended up, he or she should be able to quit. Correct. That is what the idea. Why he has to pay for the entire course? According to me, why he has to pay for the entire course? Tell me, Rahul, if I'm wrong. Okay, if he has to do only, suppose you only want to do the cloud part, so you can onboard the train. My boarding is from Bangalore to Delhi. Okay, so why I should go to Chennai? And if I have
Yes,
to,
that's
if I,
correct.
it's true. Let's talk the truth. Okay, and if I have to get down somewhere in, I don't want to go to Delhi. Okay, somewhere I want to get down in between only in UP. Okay, so I can. It's my wish, man. I wanted to get down, so I should give you kind of freedom where the course will be, and its education is not something to bind you. It is all about to free. Okay, and ideally, according to me, the education will be free. Okay, but yes, it's a whatever it is. Okay, I don't want to get into that one. But let's talk to the point, stick to the point. So this is what you need to do if you wish to, Rahul.
So we just need to follow the 100 days of the course that we will be following.
That's
And
it.
so what should be the timing? Uh,
Timing is mostly I'm keeping it in the nights. Okay, it's going to be between I would say 8 p.m. The second batch timing I have not decided. The current batch which is going on, that is from the 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. as of now. Okay,
Okay.
means Monday to Friday. And the second batch, if I have to start, okay. So in the second batch, mostly it will be from 8 p.m. somewhere like that. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
whoever is interested in the weekend, so I need to see the interest of all the members. What timing they prefer. According to that only, I'm going to start the second batch, Rahul. So I have given everything almost free. Those interview question answer itself is almost like nobody is going to publish like that. Those are the real questions you are not going to find anywhere. 100 plus interview question answer is there in Linux, right? And if you compete only, you just go and learn only. That's it. Even if you are not learning the course also,
Mm-hmm.
you will at least you will be able to qualify interview. 100%.
Uh, so just a small request from you. Since I'm working in night shifts, if it is possible for you to arrange the classes on weekends, that would be, helpful to me, because I work in night shifts, so I won't be able to attend the classes at night on weekdays.
Mhm,
Uh, Duration is not a problem for me. Whatever is required, I will do that. I'll put in the efforts.
mhm.
Just I can do the classes on weekends if that is possible. That would be a great help for me, sir.
Okay, so let me check with the other members also, Rahul. Okay, because immediately
Sure, sir.
I cannot confirm anything, and I need to see everybody availability, my availability also according to that. In the daytime, you are available, right? Morning time.
Yes, sir. So my shift timings are 7:30 to 5 a.m. and I get to home at around 8 a.m. And then from 8 a.m. I sleep and get around 2 3 p.m. But for this call, my cab is aligned for 5 p.m. But after the session, I'll have to catch a cab.
Rahul, but
So that's
for
my
your health
schedule, sir.
perspective, I'll say don't work because I faced a lot of health issues, even though I worked for the night shifts and all. But since you are young, it is fine after some time. But when you started feeling any issue, don't work in night shifts. Okay, please.
Sure, sir. That is my main aim, sir. The faster I study, the faster I want to take out the time to study from my schedule, and I want to switch as early as possible so that I can get into day shifts, even if it is night shifts. But I want to get into the DevOps domain
Yes, that is what the
or the
aim will be
cloud
there.
domain.
Yeah.
So,
Or you can even in the cloud also, it's now there won't be any for the UK clients and for the US client. Okay, US little bit, but for the UK client and all, you will get very good shifts and all. For the US clients also, you will get very like
mhm.
onshore, offshore concept will be there. So don't worry about that one. Okay, so like that. Okay, so Rahul, I hope I am able to resolve most of your queries. Okay. Uh,
Absolutely, sir.
okay.
Absolutely. It was very informative and helpful. Thank you so much for
Sure.
taking out the time to arrange a session from your busy schedule, and I really appreciate it, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
Rahul.
much. Thank you.
So we'll connect
Thank
again,
you, sir.
Rahul, if it's related to your mock interview. Okay. So normally I used to do it like whenever my members, okay, if I solve their queries and all. So if you required, let me know
Mhm.
whenever you want a mock interview. I'll take up your mock interview, and after that you can go for
Mhm.
the actual interviews and all. Okay.
Okay, so I will be waiting for the classes. Then when the classes starts, I'll follow it,
Hmm.
and let's hope for the best, sir.
100%. I believe in practice. Okay. So okay, Rahul. So just take care of yourself, your family. Okay, till then, bye bye and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. Bye bye.